know that the ANC is not in charge of the Western Cape, and the government of the Western Cape is neglecting areas like Khayelitsha.
Yes, we do vote. How?
DA, obviously.
Instead of the ANC doing its work, it wants to play the game that Banyaza and the EFF have been playing in Gauteng and other areas. The clip I'm about to show you proves something that all people of this country need to understand. Paul Mashatile accused the DA of neglecting places like Khayelitsha. Have you noticed that this is the propaganda that is used by many politicians within our country? EFF, Patriotic Alliance, and recently it has been Herman Mashaba who loves to say these things. Personally, I'm going to do my own research and see for myself. But without me even leaving my house, here is what I have found. Recently, Paul Mashatile was in the Western Cape where the DA is the party in charge. Paul Mashatile was on national television claiming that the DA neglects places like Khayelitsha. It is very interesting because it makes you wonder, what do these politicians base their accusations on? We hear that the DA hates poor communities. We hear that the DA hates black communities. Do they provide evidence to show that the DA is really neglecting these communities? Do they show us anything? No, never. It's just an accusation. An accusation based on the real fact that certain communities look dirtier and poorer than others. Now, you tell me, if a community is poor, does it mean that it is because of racism? If there is littering, is that evidence that there is neglect from the political side? What do I need from the ANC and everyone making these accusations? I need evidence, not just accusations. Here is Mashatile.
He says the ANC is on a drive to address concerns of residents in the province. High crime levels and unemployment remain the common thread in his conversations.
We are going to continue to work with them to address the problems that they have raised with us before. We want to make sure that the people of Khayelitsha, like others in the Western Cape, do get a better life, because we know that the ANC is not in charge of the Western Cape, and the government of the Western Cape is neglecting areas like Khayelitsha. So as national government, we will come from national with ministers, deputy ministers, and work with these communities that are being neglected.
He's doing exactly what the ANC is famous for, lying with the intention of deceiving and dividing the nation. He knows very well that he will not come down to do anything to change the lives of these people. This is mere talk to get your vote. It is propaganda because he does not provide evidence of neglect from the DA. Neither does he provide us with what he will do to work with those people. He simply says stuff, throwing mud and hoping that the mud sticks.
On the topic of race relations in the province, Mashatile says the ANC will continue to work in all communities to address this.
We'll work in Dala Oma region, we'll work in Boland, we'll work in places like Naisna, everywhere. What is important is to address those issues that affect people. And they will differ region by region, and we will intervene from national government level to ensure that the Western Cape people must not feel they are forgotten people. We will not leave anybody behind.
The idea is that if you repeat the lie enough times, maybe the people of South Africa will start to see the DA as a party that hates black people. If you repeat the lie enough times, then the people will think the DA neglects poor neighborhoods. We have real cases of Julius Malema saying racist things.
The EFF exists in a country indoctrinated to believe that the contradictions between the African black majority and the white capitalist ruling class can be resolved peacefully, and that violence in any form must be avoided and condemned. This belief is simply untrue. We must explain this truth to our people. When the South African Human Rights Commission takes us to court for saying that ultimately our revolution will require us to kill, we must be prepared to contextualize what we mean.
We have real evidence of ANC celebrating the high number of SASSA grants as if that is something to be proud of.
Today, more than 18 million South Africans in our country receive social relief from the government. The SRD grant introduced during COVID, the 350, has increased the number by another 8 to 10 million, meaning that easily 28 million South Africans get assistance from the ANC-led government to deal with poverty. That is one of the great achievements of our government, to help our people to deal with poverty. Amandla!
We have evidence of many other things that we speak of on this channel. That evidence is not fabricated by me. It is there for you all to find as well. Why is it that when it comes to the DA's racism and neglect, I should believe what Paul Mashatile says about the Western Cape without him giving me evidence? Why should I believe Herman Mashaba's claims of racism in Pretoria without him giving me any evidence? Why? Evidence is what should drive our voting decisions as we move forward, as we vote in 2026. So what evidence did we get from Paul Mashatile's visit in Khayelitsha? We got the evidence that Paul Mashatile's bodyguards are still not reformed. They are still very hostile towards normal citizens. But of all the evidence we got, this is the most valuable. Someone telling Mashatile something that says to me that the people of Khayelitsha might not be neglected by the DA after all. This is something that we did not get from the DA as something that they were trying to get recognition for. This is not something that the DA publicized for all to see. This came to us courtesy of Paul Mashatile's door-to-door campaign. Take a look.
Umntana wami ona wayena 29 gogo wavula le organization i-charity. Kuba sibona indlela ekungayo ekuhlaleni kuyasokoleka kunzima kukho kutya yonke into umzekelo la mzimba wokuqala beningene kuwo funeka wonke umuntu acuntsulele omnye wonke umuntu acuntsulele omnye ngoku wavula lento ehayi ndiva kabuhlungu ngoba nami ndikhule ngolhlobo ndiva kabuhlungu xa ndibona ababantu makhe ndizama uba nawuqokelela na umzekelo bendisaphangela nami ngoku bendidla ngokuthi xa ndifika apha endlini ndifike ungekho kutya apha endlini nayo irice bendiyithengile yephi hayi kuye kwafika abantwana belambile nabaphekela wavula ke le organization ijamjam charity ivula ngumntana lo una 29 years akekho kodwa ngoku ndithi ke ndathi ke ngokuhamba kwexesha ke wahambe efuna ke hambe ecele isikhalazo sethu ke kukubana asincedakali akho nto isincedayo thina yabona njengoba sihleli apha asinalo uncedo esilufumana nakubani uShoprite uyasinceda uSpar ukhasiphi izinto ne bakhona abantu beDA bebekhe bafika apha kwezinyanga satsho safumana ukupheka siyapheka ngoku because bekufike abo bantu uyayiqonda so sineso sikhalazo soba kaloku besinophiwa noba mili noba irice noba intoni for uphekela aba bantu nathi kaloku asiphangela sinayo indawo esithatha kuyo uyayiqonda.
Imagine, the same people he's saying are neglected are the same people telling him that although they may be neglected, they are not being neglected by the DA. She says there's a ShopRite that is helping them. She says there's a Spar that also helps them. These are the so-called white monopoly organizations, are they not? The capitalists are helping this woman and her family's endeavor. Guess what? These are the organizations hated by pro-communists, the same communists who are not helping this family, by the way. To add the cherry on top, the DA is the one that also helped them with their charity project.
Bakhona abantu beDA bebekhe bafika apha kwezinyanga satsho safumana ukupheka siyapheka ngoku because bekufike abo bantu.
Does Paul Mashatile even acknowledge this? Does he accept this? How could he? They are allergic to the truth. Acknowledging this fact will poke holes in his claims about the DA's neglect of the poor black people of Khayelitsha. So he simply ignores it. She explicitly said they are able to cook in their soup kitchen because those DA people had come to help them. Evidence. Why would this black person say that? Is she a sellout for mentioning what her experience was? Is she a self-hating black for acknowledging the help she received from the DA? Deputy President Paul Mashatile wanted to expose the DA and it did not go very well for him. Mashatile's door-to-door campaign actually worked against the ANC. It exposed him while doing a bit of PR for the DA. This actually works in the DA's favor. And yet, the DA did not try to go out there and say, hey, look at us, we helped out a soup kitchen. They might have it on their social media, but it was not that hyped. But instead, you have Paul Mashatile going there to accuse the DA of neglecting the community. The agenda is to create a divide within the country. That way, you ignore the real party that has been neglecting people in 8 provinces of South Africa. The ANC. A rich person who drives around in cars that are worth millions comes and tries to make poor people hate richer people. Paul Mashatile is richer than the majority, if not all, of the DA leaders, but he wants the poor people to think that he is poor just like them. He wants to make it seem like he cares about the poor people and the DA is a party of the rich that neglects the poor. That is the idea these rich people love to spread. They love to make it seem like they are here for you and me when they are not. They have more wealth than the majority of white people in this country, and yet they walk around trying to get the poor black people to hate whites and to hate rich people.
SG.
He says the party also deals with issues affecting people on the ground, and this is why most of the leadership is already in the province to talk with communities and understand the issues they deal with.
They are simply wolves in sheep's clothing. Paul Mashatile is a wolf indeed. He entered the Khayelitsha area and acted as if he was one of them, but he is clearly not. He entered Khayelitsha acting like he wanted solutions, but really he wanted division. Wake up, South Africa. Let's look at some of the comments from the people who also saw this video on Twitter. Mike says, Khayelitsha residents know that only the DA have their best interests at heart, and clearly this lady knows who is for her and who is not for her, and I'm sure she's not the only one, right? uMngeni says that organization doesn't deserve our votes. Any black person who still votes for ANC is a sellout to 60% of poor black people. And that's the reality, right? They talk to us and talk about us as if we are the sellouts for exposing the lies and the corruption and the incompetence of the ANC. But really, the people who are actually selling us out are the people voting for these incompetent people who do not care about us and who think that us living on 350 Rand a month is an achievement, instead of ensuring that they put institutions and things in place to ensure that we work for ourselves to get 35,000 Rand a month. Who is the sellout here? Sbu says, I don't think he's even listening. Actually, he looks like he's not listening. If you pay attention, he's looking over the lady's head. He's looking at the people in the room. He's looking at the house. It's as if he's here for something else. It's like, I just have to sit and listen to this lady, or pretend to be listening to this lady. In a few minutes, this will all be over. But he can't even pretend to be listening. Personally, I don't think he's listening at all. Sizwe Dlamini says, they just come and pretend to listen to you. After that, gone. That is absolutely right. It speaks to the example that I just shared, that these people come and they act like they are listening, but the evidence is there. The fact that nothing happens after they listen to all of these problems is evidence that they don't listen. They're not hearing us. And if they hear you, it means that they do not care about what they are hearing us complaining about. How long will it take for us to learn the lesson that these people do not care about us? Silo M says the elite are prioritizing their own interests rather than addressing the needs of the poor. They seem to believe that their presence or visibility alone will revive the party and attract votes. However, people are not naive. And I think a lot of people are not naive, but unfortunately, some people are. The gentleman that we watched yesterday who was like, get out of my house, not tomorrow, now. I think he's one of the people that are not naive. That is an attitude that, not a fighting attitude per se, but an attitude of this is how you actually want to treat me, then get out. You don't deserve to be in my home. You don't deserve it to be in my space. And you definitely do not deserve to get my vote. That is the attitude that we need to have as South African citizens. We need to realize that these people do not care about us. They think we are fools, and we need to show them that we are not fools. And if we have any naive people around us in our workplaces, our schools, anywhere, our families, we need to wake them up to the reality that actually, think about this. When last did you see Paul Mashatile? When last did you see anybody from the ANC? Why are they coming now just before the 2026 elections? Why were they walking around and doing these campaigns just before the 2024 elections? Where were they the whole time? And even so, after coming in 2024, just before the elections, what have they done following that? Let's wake our people up, guys. Arthur says, I'm trying to understand something. How did Casanova, can't look people in the eye, Paul, get to be DP? Aish, Arthur. I don't know. Could it be that he had the right comrades supporting him? But yeah, the fact that he can't look at people in the face is a bit dodgy, isn't it? Lerato says, the lady told Paul Mashatile that they got assistance from the DA. I can't imagine what Paul was thinking when he heard what he heard, unless if he wasn't paying attention, that would have helped his emotions a bit. But if he really was paying attention and he heard the lady say, actually, we have been neglected by some people, but the DA has come through for us, I wonder what he was thinking and feeling, because that went off script. You know, that is not something that he thought he would happen. That is not a response he expected, and I'm sure it really shocked him and other ANC people that were in the room. Joy Zelda says, Law Mama is useless. Why entertain Paul Mashatile lies? I think we need to show a bit of grace, especially to the elders among us who, I think they still have hope that, you know what, person to person, Ubuntu, if you're a real person and I'm telling you these stories, I'm telling you the reality that I'm experiencing, that my family and my community are experiencing, and you have the power, you are the deputy president of the nation, you have the power to change my circumstance, then it is worth me sharing the situation. And I believe that because you're a human being, you know, there's that something will happen within you and you will take some action. And I think that's why this particular mom and every other person who takes the time to share their issues with these people is hoping. They're hoping to get to the humanity of the comrades. And unfortunately, time and time again, the comrades seem to just... They've lost their humanity, and it's very sad to see. And because of that, let us vote them out. They should go. Hashtag not tomorrow, now. Ratohwa says, DA is doing well there. Paul just wants to disturb. And according to what this lady's saying, DA is doing well. According to other people as well, they're saying that actually the DA is doing work. Things are not perfect. Things are not perfect anywhere. Whether it's the EFF, ANC, or DA running the municipality, things are never perfect, but in some areas, things are just way better than other areas, right? And I think what Ratohwa said in the comment is true. Paul simply wants to disturb. The ANC wants to disturb. They don't care whether things are going right or wrong, because if they cared about whether things are going right or wrong, they have 8 other provinces where they should have gone and ensured that things are going right. But they're not doing it. They have Sandown and Alexandra right here in Johannesburg that they needed to do something with, something about, and they are failing to do it. They don't care about whether things are going right or wrong. They just want the votes. They just want the power, because when you have the power, then you have the money. That's what they care about. Captain says, Paul Mashatile can't even look at people in the eye. The man looks weird. Like, and Dinewa says, crook. Guys, there's definitely something weird about that. Why can you not look at people in the eye? You're the deputy president. Surely for you to have risen to that level, you have worked on your confidence, you have worked on your ability to of eye contact and all of that. This is a mama, right? A normal person, a civilian, a normal citizen who might be voting for you. Why can you not look them in the eye? Is it guilt? Is it knowing that, actually, ma'am, I have no interest in what you're saying? Is it knowing that I'm not going to do anything about what you're telling me, so why should I even bother? Are you guilty? What is it? What is it, right? Andy says it wasn't Paul's day at all today. This lady says their charity got help, donations from ShopRite, SPAR, and DA people for it to be able to feed local people. Yeah, it definitely wasn't Paul's day. First, we have the truth that the lady is sharing with him, and then we have the lady's son who comes and tells them, get out, not tomorrow, today. It wasn't a good day, but it was a day of truth. Firstly, what the gentleman did, you can't come and harass people in their homes. And secondly, the lady's telling you the truth. You guys have neglected us, and the DA has come and has enabled us to help other people who are poor, who need the soup kitchen that we are providing, mainly because the country's not doing well. That is why we have so many people needing soup kitchens, needing handouts. Maluma says, this is actually embarrassing. And it is. It's very embarrassing. Like, I wouldn't have liked to be Paul in that situation. Like, how would you respond to that, right? You here as an enemy of the DA, here to have the lady show the rest of South Africa how the DA is neglecting the poor black South Africans. And this lady says, actually, the DA is taking care of me. The DA is helping me take care of many other people within my community. Absolutely embarrassing. Tab says, this is embarrassing to deputy of ANC to hear that the DA was there to support, not just visiting, but to give these people food. Black people, you're on your own under ANC government. And you know what makes it even more embarrassing is that you just here to talk. You just here to sit on the lady's couch and destroy it even further. I didn't see any bags of maize meal, even tin stuff, or even some vegetables. There's nothing that you brought, unless if the cameras missed it. The DA didn't do this campaign of yours and bringing cameras to embarrass the ANC. They just brought the people the food. Yet here you are to embarrass the DA, and you have brought nothing to support the people that you are saying are being neglected by the DA. If indeed the poor black people of Khayelitsha are neglected by the DA, is that not your opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to do something for you? And instead of waiting for you to vote for us in 2026 and only then do something for you, here are some groceries. I mean, how much will it take from your own pocket? It doesn't even have to come from the ANC, but whether the ANC or Paul's pocket, how much difference is it going to make on your bank account for you to just buy some groceries for the house that you are coming to, for the small community of Khayelitsha? If you really care, show the people now. Don't tell us that you're going to make a difference when they vote for you. Do it now so that we can see if indeed you are worthy of our vote. At this stage, we know that you're not. Hashtag get out, not tomorrow, now. Finally, Styler says, not Paul sitting there only to be told that it's only the DA that has assisted this family. What an own goal. What an own goal indeed, right? It went like the opposite direction. We were going this way and this thing went like the other direction. But I'm so glad that they actually got out and did this door-to-door campaign, brought us some of the evidence that contradicts the lies and the propaganda that they have been spreading all this while. Share your thoughts about what happened to Paul, about some of what these people are saying in the comment section below. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. The people can clearly see through the lies of these hyenas. Paul Mashatile has been useless. The ANC has been useless. That is evident. Here's one of the most famous mayors from the DA. Look at what he did for these people and his effect on the community. It is a poor community, yet he is there, guys, working with them, helping and empowering them. Thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy the clip. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.
The main problems here, as in the rest of South Africa, are poverty, unemployment, and of course, insecurity. One of the first programs launched by the new municipality, the installation of solar street lighting. A neighborhood lit up at night is bound to be safer. The second step towards improving living conditions, solar panels for over 500 homes, including Kobiles.
This is a solar panel. We are using it to charge the battery. The battery, put it inside, so we put outside the solar panel, so it will be charging the battery inside.
A kit includes the panel, a battery, a bulb for each room, and a phone charger. When Kobile and Grace are asked if they voted in the November 2021 municipal elections, the answer is a resounding yes.
Yes, we do vote. How?
DA, obviously.
We're not afraid. We're not, because we see the difference. Yes, for a year, because it's a year, it's a big difference to 27 years where we did not see the difference.
Right, back with you tonight, you're in focus, and thanks for staying on. Some bit of positive news now. The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal has commended uMngeni municipality for what it said is effective use of the municipal infrastructure grant. Government says that the grant aims to eradicate municipal infrastructure backlogs in poor communities to ensure the provision of basic services such as water, sanitation, roads and community lighting. The municipality says that in 6 months it managed to spend the 24 million rands allocation on various projects such as roads, storm water and finishing all the projects that had been poorly managed before. Its financial and planning effectiveness has now opened up possibilities of applying for top-up funds.
To be fair and honesty, imeya lengenile uChris Pappas kunoshintsho olube khona engenile. Lolo shintsho besingaliboni before. Angisho ukuthi laba kade bekhona before iANC kade ingasebenzi. Nabo kade besebenza ngendlela yabo. Kodwa ekufikeni kwakhe uMr Christopher Pappas, there is a lot of change in terms of infrastructure. Most of the road are nama potholes, but he tried by all means ukuthi awavale wonke lawo ma-potholes akade semgaqweni. Okay, okwesibili ilokishi nani njengoba nilibona lingcolile and uyazama ngakho konke okusemandleni ukuthi ama-dam sites fight against wona. Uyayibona leyo yinto. Bese sekuzoba khona osomabhizinisi, especially laba abasafufusa noma abasakhula. Yena futhi uyazama ukuthi abe ne-support kubona. Ngingasho ngithini, ngingathi yena umuntu okwaziyo ukuthi eze kubantu, yabo, axoxisane nabantu, azizwe nekhalazo zabo abantu, and then bese kuba ne-way forward.
Izinto asafani, sekuyaklinwa njalo ekseni, nabantu abaklinayo baningi, yabo, kungconywana sesithole namabhimu, akusafani. Ezinye izinto nje eziningi seyishintshile for us. Nathi lana esisebenzayo esisebenza kanje siyabona nathi ukuthi siyasizakala masiya lapha kamasipala thathi leso sikhathi sokuthi ubuye mawuthi uyabuya kusasa kuthiwa uzobuya uyinikwe ipermit yakho mawuthi uyabuya uqede mhlambe 2 years lokhu uya kamasipala ufuna ipermit ungayitholi.
Sonke sinamaphupho. Sifuna ukuphila impilo engcono. Sifuna ukwazi ukuthi ukuhlala emjondolo akusiyona into ejwayelekile. Sifuna ukuvula amanzi ekseni aphume empompini. Sifuna ukuthi abantwana bethu bangafundi ngekhandlela.
He talks about the municipality's debt to energy providers.
Yokuqala ukuntshontsha kwagesi kwezinye indawo. Umkhandlo wethu ukhipha imali engango 40 million wamarandi ukhokhele ugesi ku-Eskom kodwa imali ayingeni kuthina. 40 million wamarandi. Ngizowenza umzekelo lo mgwaqo lo ukulungisa lo ukwenza kuba itiyele ngaba u6 million. So singalungisa lo mgwaqo cishe kwaba nga5.
New police cars, equipment for public works, the creation of jobs for residents at the town hall. He explains where the money will go and listens to residents' requests for the next budget.
Umphakathi wethu njengoba ubona awunayo iklinikhi. Kunabantu abadala la okumele bahambe baye eklinikhi empophomeni.
Owesibili umbuzo wami umayelana nesanitation ama-toilets. Miningi imizi ekhona lapha eMashingeni kwafika uhlelo lokufakwa kwama-toilets. Kodwa ezinye indawo zashiwa nje imaterial kwangaqedelelwa. Kukhona futhi eminye imizi engafakiwe nhlobo ama-toilets. Sibabaza wena sibabaza wena.
This is our 8th meeting in the last 2 weeks, where we go to different communities. We're trying to put a focus on rural communities this particular financial years, and you can see by the turnout that there's a big need or desire for people to participate in these areas.